over there, making the offensive foul. Clark takes the three and drills it.
Oh my! Behind the back!
The Indiana Fever just sent a message to the entire WNBA, and it happened in a preseason game that nobody saw coming. The Fever defeated the New York Liberty 109-91, a team with 3 All-Stars: Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones. And the way they did it should have every team in the league paying attention. Because this wasn't just a win. This was a statement.
Oh, sorry.
Let me show you what just happened and why Angel Reese should be absolutely panicking right now. Indiana walked into Brooklyn and dominated one of the league's best teams, 109-91. That's not a close game. That's not a preseason fluke. That's a team that's ready to compete right now. And the most important part, they did it without even needing Caitlin Clark to have a great shooting night. Clark played 17 minutes. She scored 7 points on 2 of 10 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. By her standards, that's a rough outing. But here's what makes this terrifying for the rest of the league. The Fever won by 18 anyway.
You know, I think we play differently when she's on the floor, and so again, learning how to play with her in the action. I thought she was good. I thought she didn't force anything. She played with great intention, and everything that she did was in the flow. She was communicating at a high level. I mean, if we're talking about the shot making, like, that's going to come.
Stephanie White isn't worried about Clark's shooting, and she shouldn't be. Because what this game proved is that the Fever don't live and die by Caitlin Clark's shot-making anymore. They have depth, they have balance, they have multiple players who can step up and take over. And the player who actually stole the show? Raven Johnson, the rookie. The same player Caitlin Clark waved off during the 2023 Final Four. She just had a perfect WNBA debut. 6 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks in 18 minutes. And here's the crazy part. She didn't miss a single shot. Perfect shooting in her first professional game against a Liberty team, loaded with all-stars.
She's going to continue to bring that night in and night out, and then she's going to just learn on the offensive end, learn what we're looking to get out of certain actions, learn how to create the matchups that we want, learn how to create advantage. You know, it's different than in college, and she's a sponge. She asks a lot of questions, which I love. We'll watch film and continue to grow, but you can't teach the instincts. You can't teach those go-go gadget arms, and the length and her ability to recover.
Go gadget arms. That's how Stephanie White described Raven Johnson's defense. And if you watched the game, you saw exactly what she meant. Johnson was everywhere, deflecting passes, contesting shots, running the offense when Clark sat. She looked like a veteran, not a rookie making her debut. If you want breakdowns like this on the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, and everything happening in the WNBA, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let me show you why this game proves everything the Fever have been building toward. The Fever got 62 points off the bench, 62. That's more than what some teams score with their entire roster in a preseason game. Shatori Allen led the bench with 18 points. Kelsey Mitchell also had 18. The depth that Stephanie White has been talking about all training camp just showed up against one of the league's most talented rosters. Think about what that means. The Liberty came into this game with Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones. 3 All-Stars, a super team, and the Fever's bench outscored them.
I mean, depth is going to be critical for us. You know, Tori's been in this league a while. Raven's a newbie, but you got to have it. You know, we've got to be able to have a quality rotation. We've got to be able to get production from multiple players. And then when you get into the postseason and you get into series, in particular when we think about 7-game series, you got to have multiple players that you can count on. And
this is what separates championship contenders from pretenders. Depth. The ability to rest your stars and still control the game. The Fever just proved they have that in a preseason game against a team stacked with all-stars. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with Angel Reese? Let me connect the dots for you. While the Indiana Fever were beating one of the league's best teams with their bench unit, Angel Reese was watching. And not just watching the game. She was watching Raven Johnson, the rookie who just had a perfect debut. And Reese posted about it on social media, quote, So proud of my boo-ski Raven Johnson. That's Angel Reese celebrating a Fever rookie's success. The same Fever team that just got all 44 games nationally televised while her Atlanta dream only got 28. The same organization where veterans are praising Caitlin Clark while her own teammates in Atlanta roasted her at her introductory press conference. Think about the irony here. Reese spent 2 years positioning herself as Caitlin Clark's rival. The narrative was always Reese versus Clark, LSU versus Iowa, Chicago versus Indiana. And now, Reese is cheering for a Fever rookie while her own team is dealing with dysfunction. Raven Johnson, the player Clark waved off in 2023, just had a flawless professional debut, and the person celebrating it publicly is Angel Reese. Not because they're teammates, they're not, but because Johnson played at South Carolina with Reese's former teammates. So Reese is watching Fever players succeed while her own situation in Atlanta continues to spiral. Let me remind you what's happening in Atlanta. Reese got traded from Chicago after 2 years of declining records and locker room issues. She arrives in Atlanta, and at her introductory press conference, her new teammates roasted her. They said they scored 30 on her. They called her annoying. They said they had their best games against her. Meanwhile, in Indianapolis, rookies like Raven Johnson are getting praised by the head coach, supported by veterans, and delivering perfect performances in their debuts. The contrast couldn't be more obvious. But here's what makes the Fever even more dangerous. Caitlin Clark had a bad shooting night, and they still won by 18. That means when Clark's shot starts falling, and it will, this team becomes completely unstoppable. Stephanie White said it herself. The shot making is going to come. Defenses play Clark differently in the WNBA than they do in international basketball. And White's job is to find ways to free her up. Once that happens, the Fever aren't just beating teams, they're dominating them. And this depth they just showed, that's the difference between making the playoffs and winning a championship. The Fever made it to the semifinals last year without Caitlin Clark playing most of the season. They went 24-20 and pushed the Las Vegas Aces to 5 games. Now they have Clark back, fully healthy. And they have Raven Johnson running the offense like a veteran. And they have Shatori Allen and the bench unit scoring 62 points. And they have Aaliyah Boston and Lexi Hull, who weren't even playing in this game. When everyone is healthy and available, this Fever roster is built to compete with anyone in the league. And they just proved it by beating a super team without their best player even having a good game. The 44 nationally televised games make sense now. Networks didn't just pick the Fever because of Caitlin Clark's name. They picked them because this team is appointment television. Every game matters, every matchup is competitive, and the roster has enough talent to actually win it all. Compare that to Atlanta. 28 nationally televised games, a 3,500-seat gym, teammates who roasted their new star player at her welcome press conference, and a roster that hasn't proven it can compete with anyone yet. Angel Reese is watching Raven Johnson thrive in Indiana and posting supportive messages on social media. But what she should be doing is figuring out how to fix her own situation. Because while the Fever are beating super teams in the preseason, the Dream are still trying to convince people they're relevant. The regular season starts May 9th. Fever versus Wings, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Buchers, and Azzi Fudd. 2 #1 overall picks going head-to-head with the player who's already proven she can dominate at the highest level. And if the Fever can beat the Liberty's star-studded roster in the preseason without Clark even shooting well, what happens when she gets into rhythm during the regular season? What happens when Aaliyah Boston comes back? What happens when this team has a full training camp under their belt and the chemistry is clicking on all cylinders? The rest of the league should be worried because Indiana just showed they're not rebuilding anymore. They're not developing, they're ready. Right now, Angel Reese can keep posting about Fever rookies on social media, but at some point, she's going to have to deal with the reality that the team she tried to position herself against is thriving while her own situation continues to fall apart. The Indiana Fever just shocked the WNBA by beating one of the league's best teams in a preseason game. Raven Johnson had a perfect debut. The bench scored 62 points. And Caitlin Clark didn't even need to have a great game for them to dominate. If that doesn't put the rest of the league on notice, nothing will. What do you think? Are the Indiana Fever the team to beat in 2026? And should Angel Reese be worried about how far ahead the Fever are compared to the Dream? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest on Caitlin Clark, the Fever, and everything happening in the WNBA. We'll see you in the next one.